Hey everyone, this is Ara Derdarian of the HT Guys, and today we're taking a look at the Ray Super Remote, available at Amazon and Best Buy for $249. You look at the packaging and it kind of reminds me of an Apple product, the way it's packaged in there very nicely, minimalistic. The phone itself feels about the size of an older smartphone. It's got hard buttons on the side for volume, mute, and it'll put the screen to sleep. Comes with a charger and a cable, and that's pretty much it. The phone comes with a little bit of a charge, but we wanted to have it completely charged, so we put it into the charger itself, and we started the process there. We connected to our Wi-Fi, and once connected to the Wi-Fi, the phone downloads an update, and will download the IR codes. And once that's all been completed, it takes a few minutes, but once that's been completed, you're ready to move to adding devices. But to do that, you need to get in front of the television. I added my DirecTV satellite box, Blu-ray player, Apple TV, receiver, and television. It's a question and answer kind of situation. And I didn't record all of those, but what we'll do is we'll add the Roku box here, and the steps are similar for all your other devices. As I said before, you have to be in front of your television to make this process work with the television on. So you'll use your manual remotes to turn on the TV and the receiver and the Roku box. Then the questions will be, what input is your television on? So you'll select that. Then you'll be asked, what input is your Roku on? Now you could test it first if you want to make sure that it works properly, and then if it does, you can go ahead and select that. Then you'll be asked to test it and see if the whole thing worked. And that's really all that it takes to do this. You respond with, yes, it did work, and then at that point, the device has been added to your remote control. So here we'll go ahead and select the Roku from our list of activities. Once you've selected the Roku, it should switch your receiver, your television, and then give you the Roku remote control interface. Once you've added the device, there are some default buttons that show up on the screen, a home button, rewind, but you can add more if you want. You hit that little plus button at the bottom, and then other buttons that are available in the remote control, you can select for, in this case, we'll select Voodoo. And then Voodoo gets added to the button list at the bottom. You select the Voodoo, and then your Roku device will bring up the Voodoo application. This works with all the other apps, by the way. There's a lot of buttons that are available that are not necessarily part of the default interface, and then you can customize it as you wish. And they have applications, sports, kids, best of TV. When you click on Best of TV, it brings up programs that the remote control feels are noteworthy. At that point, you can decide, I'll just set a reminder, and then you can tune in to watch. There's an alarm on the remote. Or you can set up a record, and because it does connect to if your DVR connects via Wi-Fi and there's an application like an API available, it can actually set the recording for you. So that's pretty cool. At that point, you can just, like I said, hit the record button and come back and watch it on your DVR when you're ready. So let's take a look at the DVR interface. Once you've hit go, it'll switch all your inputs. And as you can see, the screen is a little cumbersome. It's got a lot to pack in a small area. You've got 3 tabs at the top. You've got a lot of your hard buttons at the bottom, your special function buttons. You've got an area where you can use swipe commands, up, down, left, right. And then if you want to change the channel number, you have to hit the channel number, and then brings up the keys for the numbers. So as you can see, it's a little bit cumbersome. Better than having 4 remotes, but still a little bit not as nice as a full-fledged remote that has all the hard buttons on there. To turn off the TV, you can hit the on-off button, and at that point, you're given an option. You can turn off an individual device, or you can turn off all the devices. You can do some searching. In this case here, we'll take a look at NFL Game Day and NFL, and these are some of the things that it'll find for you. At that point, you can decide to watch if the show is on. In this case, I'm looking for The Walking Dead. It tells me when the next episode is going to be, and I can, at that point, find future airings. That gives you information. Other programs that are similar. If the show is on, again, you can hit watch. Otherwise, you can set up to record the program. And if you've got one of those DVRs that have the full functionality with APIs, you can set up a season pass at that point. There's also an option for if you hit TV. In this case, it doesn't turn on the TV, but it brings up shows that you might be interested in. Back early on, when you configured the programming, you tell it what channels that you have, what things that you're interested in. So it'll bring up shows, movies. There's kid information. There's sports, news. You can scroll through all these screens, and it's kind of like your TV guide based on the channels that you have. So it's kind of cool. And then it does make the remote kind of fun at first, but I wonder after a while if it becomes a little cumbersome to go through that, as opposed to just checking it out on the guide on the television. But it is a very nice looking interface. The graphics are fantastic. The screen resolution is really nice. It is a very responsive remote control. There's really not much sluggishness. Now, coming from a remote control that is, I use an iPad, and I don't have to aim it at the television. There are some functions on here that do require it to be aimed at the television, so that got to be a little bit a relearning curve, if you will. But if you're already used to that, it's probably no big deal for you. Another cool feature that this remote has is if your DVR does have the API and it does expose this functionality, in this case, you can do the video on demand. And with DirecTV, you can hit the video on demand button, and a list of shows that are available will come up. Some you have to pay for, some which are free. In my mind, $249 for this remote's a great deal. It's similar to the Harmony in the sense that it can do everything the Harmony can, but I think it's got a lot nicer features. It is all touchscreen, with the exception of the volume up and down and the mute button, which I think those buttons do need to be hard-coded or hard buttons. So I really like it. Recommend this remote to anybody watching this video. Thank you for watching, and you can find more information about us at htguys.com. And there you can find ways to support the show, whether it be a coffee. You can donate us a coffee, which is simply a metaphor. It's a PayPal donation. Or you can support us through Patreon, which is patreon.com/HDTV podcast. A lot of listeners to the weekly show do donate there. Anything you can do to support us is greatly appreciated. We do have affiliate banners on our website, so if there's anything that you find interesting there, please go ahead and check it out through our website, and that helps support the show. We really appreciate feedback, and you can provide that if you send us an email to htguys@htguys.com. So we also mentioned on the podcast that we were going to give this remote away. And to do that, we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than selecting a listener at random, what I'd like anyone who watched this or listened to the show to do is send an email to htguys@htguys.com, put Ray in the subject line, and then tell me why we should send you the remote. Be clever, be funny, come up with something that just catches our fancy. And again, this is totally subjective, and I think when we read all the emails, there will be one that just stands out. And so hopefully this is a little bit different than just a random. It gives you an opportunity to kind of skew the odds in your favor, especially if you're really clever. So again, send an email to htguys@htguys.com and put Ray in the subject line. The contest details are: we need the entries by noon Pacific time on November 30th. We will announce the winners on the December 2nd podcast. If you don't listen to the podcast, you will also receive an email. One entry per person, And the contest is open to people who live in North America. If your address is, if you live outside there, but you have an address that we can mail to inside North America, we will open the contest to you as well. We do have some listeners who live in other areas, and they either have some sort of forwarding service or friends who live in the United States or Canada. So we will extend the contest to you. And that's it. So we wish you luck, and thanks for watching the video.